Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Vladimir Turovskiy, and I'm very happy to be joined today by my partner, holistic therapist Elaine Kroytor, and we're part of the Carillon Conversations. We're going to talk today about very important topics about strengthening the immunity, about detoxification and stress, and the role they're playing in strengthening the immunity. I will give a minute to Elaine to introduce herself, and we'll start. Elaine,
Hello,
please.
everyone. Thank you for joining us today with these conversations at Carillon. My name is Elaine Kroytor. I'm a holistic therapist who specializes in the lymphatic system, which is our immune system. And I will be talking to you about 8 ways to keep your lymphatic system clean and in great shape while home. So Dr. Turovskiy is going to start.
Okay, we're going to start today. Welcome, everybody. Obviously, the very important topic is the virus and pandemic. Just before we start, I want to mention that we're here in the beautiful Health and Wellness Center at the Carillon, and while all businesses are operate with restrictions, we want everybody to know that we're available for online and video consultations. We do a lot of distance testing, including antibody testing for the COVID antibodies and some other testings, and help people with boosting immunity, helping with stress, and helping with detoxing the body. So in the absence of vaccine or any definitive treatment for the virus, this one or any other type of infection, an optimal functioning immune system is pretty much our only defense, and it's vital to protect us. Very important to understand that the immune system, unlike other body systems, are comprised of the organs and tissues from all over the body, from all over the system. So pretty much when we talk about optimal immune response, it is very important to understand that organs such as liver, spleen, our gut, lymphatic system are very important. We'll talk about lymphatic system with Elaine toward the end, but before we get there, I want to start talking about other organs and that play important role in the immune function. So in order to optimize the immune function, there's 3 major things. It's nutritious diet, regular physical exercise, and stress management, including adequate stress and adequate sleep. So that's all providing a healthy immune function. Very important to understand with this specific challenge we're facing now with the COVID virus, we're talking about the healthy and optimal immune function, not just strengthening immune function. We'll talk about it, why it is important, because part of the way the virus affects the body is called overreaction of the immune system, or a cytokine storm, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. But first, I want to tell about some of the supplements that you can take that are very simple, easy to get. They're pretty inexpensive, and they play a vital role not only in optimizing immune system without overstimulating it, but also help other important functions. We're going to talk about it today, such as stress management, sleep correction, and detoxification. The 2 vitamins play a special important role is vitamin D, which is one of the fat-soluble vitamins, and vitamin C. They both optimize our immune response and help to detoxify the body, as well as helping with the appropriate stress control. The next 2 things we have are essential nutrients, minerals, zinc and selenium. They also play a huge role in fighting viruses and other infectious agents. and they also help to optimize sleep and stress response. The next, we talk about two botanicals. The green tea, which helps with optimal body function, with reducing stress and optimizing sleep. And angiographies has strong antiviral properties without overstimulation of the immune system, which, like I said, is important not to get into the too strong of immune response to avoid the side effects of the coronavirus. And finally, melatonin is a vital hormone in our body. Probably a lot of you heard the beneficial properties of melatonin in inducing sleep. But here we also talk about the function of the melatonin. There are studies coming out that it helps with appropriate response to various type of viral infection. With that being said, especially with people as we age and we lose ability to produce melatonin and have adequate amounts of it, so it is very, very important to supplement with melatonin, not only for the sleep, but for the proper viral response. So the overreaction of the immune system, I'm not gonna overload you. It's a pretty interesting slide, very short. Part of the immune reaction, there are specific cells, the cytokines in our body, and in reaction to various infection agents, especially in the coronavirus, that could be an overproduction of the cytokines. And that, what's known as a cytokine storm, is largely responsible for the various types of complications that patients with COVID experience, including blood clotting and in the small capillaries. That's what creates the fluid retention in the lungs that we see is so typical of the coronavirus. And also the inflammation in the blood, in the small blood vessels that leads to strokes even in young and asymptomatic people, and other vascular reactions and overreaction of the immune system that leading to systemic inflammation. There are reports coming now with young kids that having that systemic inflammatory response, which is also probably part of the cytokines. So once again, I want to emphasize that the nutrients we're suggesting and the approaches we're suggesting help to balance the immune system without overstimulating it. The two major factors that help us to deal with the immune system are dealing with stress and detoxification. First, we'll talk about stress. And it's important to understand that stress is not what's happening around us. It's not the stressful situations, but the stress is our internal reaction. And we have this little table which is created by Dr. Wilson of Life Extension. And it is a very interesting, the transition, what are the difference between just occasional worry, persistent stress, and when it goes into anxiety, which is already a clinical condition. So that's something that you can learn more to see where on that spectrum you are. What are the things that you can easily do at home to mitigate the effects of stress, which have a very strong effect on our immune response? There are a lot of studies that are showing that mind-body connection is very, very strong during stress, during anxiety. Our natural defending mechanisms in the blood, the cells which are responsible for fighting the infection are getting deactivated, and our immune response weakened dramatically. First of all, we suggest exercise your stress away. Physical activity, especially now when we're at home, when there is somewhat limited opportunities to exercise with gyms being closed, and there is a temptation to be more passive. So it's very, very important. The physical activity activates circulation, activate the feel-good chemicals in your brain, and it helps you to deal with stress. It also, especially at the times if you feel more worried or anxious, if you right away go into some strong physical activity, intense physical activity, really helps, because evolutionary our body is designed to react to stress with physical activity. So it's just very natural. Whatever you might want to do, the more formal exercise, dancing, or any type of movement that helps dramatically to reduce the level of stress and anxiety. Take time to enjoy simple pleasures. Stop and pause your daily activities to reflect, to practice some mindfulness. Nutritional support versus overeating and stressful eating. The nutritional elements that we talked about in the immune system support, some of them are very important in stress relief. Of the simple ingredients that helps with sleep and reducing stress is magnesium. It's very easy to obtain, very inexpensive, and it dramatically improves the ability to relax, both physically relax your musculature and to relax the nervous system. And finally, you can need at some time, you can feel that you need the professional help, please don't be afraid to ask for it. Like I said, we're here available for the consultations. You can reach out to many various resources that are available in the community to help you deal with stress on the professional level. Once again, it's one of the most important things that affect your immune response. Now, the toxicity also plays a huge role. Like I said, not one single organ is responsible for the immune system functioning, but liver, spleen, gut, or your intestines, all of those organs are greatly affected by toxicity. We'll talk about detox diet and lymphatic system detox a little bit more with Elaine in a few minutes, but I want to talk here about one of the examples. You probably heard that some connection between ibuprofen intake and other non-steroid anti-inflammatory and how they affect the complications from coronavirus. You can see here on your screen that how the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory
We're getting Dr. Turovskiy back on our screen. Give us a few minutes. Well, while we get Dr. Turovskiy back, As I mentioned to you before, my name is Elaine Kroytor. I'm one of the holistic therapists who specializes in the lymphatic system. And lymphatic system is your immune system. And today we will go over 8 ways how to keep your lymphatic system in great shape. There should be a slide about the ways we can do that. Lymphatic system is one of the most important system. It also includes the immune system, detoxification system. And it's important that what we do at home, especially while we're not working, we're staying safe in our household. There's a lot of things you can do while home. The first thing I'm going to talk about is water. Lymphatic system loves water. Unlike the heart, it doesn't have a pump. So we need to flush out toxins using the water and using our lymph system. The rule of thumb is to drink half of your body weight in water. So if you are 150 pounds, half of that is 75 ounces. So I recommend to my clients drinking half of your body weight in water daily. If you don't like water, I also like to spike the water. One of my favorite ingredients is lime, lemon. You can use cucumbers, whatever it is you could put in your water. Not only does it make it more alkaline, but it makes you drink more. And again, the more alkaline the water, the better everything flows in your body. Think of lymphatic system is your highway system. The better everything flows, the better you feel, and the more toxicity you can get rid of. I also recommend avoiding artificial flavors, colorings, dairy. Dairy really congests the lymphatic system. Wheat causes to slow down the gut. Gluten, corn, soy. Just pay attention. Also read labels. A lot of the people love sugar-free Splendas and aspartame, and they're really toxins. And when you ingest them, the body does not know what to do with it, so it automatically throws it into fat cells. Or I do recommend organic stevia, which again, you should read the labels because some brands call themselves organic stevia, but when you turn to the ingredients, it's really not. It has ribena and dextrose. So read ingredients and buy the product that just has organic stevia leaf. Using aluminum-free deodorant really helps to detoxify the body because the body is divided into two. You have upper body and lower body, and the drainage is as everything from your legs drain upwards towards your groin, and everything from your belly button drain upwards towards the armpits. So using the non-aluminum deodorant is essential because if everything drains into your armpit and we're using the deodorant with aluminum, we really congest our armpits, which cause a blockage and stagnation. Exercise. Dr. Turovskiy mentioned the importance of exercise for stress reduction. Exercise is essential. Movement is essential for lymphatic detoxification. One of my favorite exercise is bouncing on a Pilates ball. You basically sit on a Pilates ball and you bounce on it lightly, put the ball next to the wall. Some people prefer a trampoline. It's much more safer to use the ball. And you start with 5 minutes and work yourself up to 20 minutes. Bouncing throughout the day really releases, improves your lymphatic system and helps you decongest and eliminate the toxins. Take Epsom salt and lavender bath. Again, the rule of thumb, 1 cup is not going to be enough. If you're using a bathtub, you need at least 4 cups of Epsom salt. You can add lavender, you can also add sea salt or Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt is one of our secret ingredients, as I call it. I love salt in the bath because of its 84 minerals. It's the properties that actually helps us to detoxify. I even love it in the water, and we have different recipes for Himalayan salt. For people that work out of the house, I also recommend them to switch to a Pilates ball chair, instead of regular chairs, because throughout the day you can bounce more and it'll help you. And one of my absolute must-have to keep the lymphatic system in great shape is body brushing. We should be doing daily dry body brushing before the shower. And you can use a regular uh, brush with bristles or palm brush. I like palm brush, they're a little softer. And the way you, there should be a slide. Can you move to the slide for the brushing? Right here. So the benefits is endless. The body brushing exfoliates the skin. It helps to tighten the skin. It removes all the toxins. Remember, skin is the largest organ, so the cleaner we keep it, the better we will feel. And because the lymphatic system flows upwards, it's very important to brush. We would like to start at our toes, and using a circular pattern, you brush the body towards the groin area. You start at the bottom using circular motion going upwards. And then we also like to do some sweeps, doing 2-3 times. You do the legs first, then you move down to your arms. You start at the hands. Again, you go into the circular motion. You brush upwards towards the armpit, and then you do few sweeps. You would like to do it dry daily, right before the shower, to really stimulate the lymph, detoxify the body, exfoliates the skin, and really keep your body in great shape. And then you have to go to your abdomen. And the abdomen, since the body is divided in two, you start at the belly button, going down. You brush down towards the groin, and then you brush upwards towards the armpits. And that just alone doing body brushing, drinking the water, it really helps to keep your lymph in great shape. And one of the other things I always recommend to my clients in the morning, since we sleep for 7-8 hours, the body's dehydrated. So when we wake up, the first thing we should drink water, some people say with some lemon. I like to add just a tap of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper really gives a jolt to the lymphatic system and starts the flush. And keep in mind, water drinking is probably one of the most important things that I do talk about. And while you're home, these are very easy things you can do, because prevention is really the key to keep you in great shape, to stay safe, and to make sure COVID-19 is not going to be part of our daily routine if we keep our lymph clean. I see that Dr. Turovskiy is back. I will let him finish his talk. He's I believe you were on right before we started detoxification, and then we will go over all of our treatment special. I do want to remind everybody that if anybody is interested in any type of lymphatic treatments, that's one of our signature treatment. We do electrosound lymphatic treatment using sound. So there's manual treatments and there's sound treatments. And we look forward seeing you with us shortly. Dr. Turovskiy.
Yes, I apologize for some technical difficulties. So back again, in the same flow, Elaine was talking about the lymphatic system, which plays a huge role in detoxification. So just wanted to finish with a couple of thoughts about non-steroidal toxicity as a representation of toxicity in general, how it plays a role in our immune response. So the excess levels of non-steroidal, such as acetaminophen or ibuprofen, can overwhelm our detox system, our liver, and deplete levels of glutathione. There are actually a lot of reports coming in that the glutathione is very beneficial in treatment of the side effects of the coronavirus. Two other natural interventions are acetylcysteine and silymarin, which is botanical. Both of those activate our liver phase 2 and phase 1 and phase 2 detox mechanisms. And along with the proper care of the lymphatic system and gut detox, you will have robust and yet balanced immune support, which is so vital to fight any types of infections, including respiratory infection, including this new coronavirus. So now I believe we have some time for questions, and then I will tell you a little bit about some specials that we're running here for consultations and different services. So I will open it to any conversations that anybody might have. And okay. Okay, so let me tell you, I don't see any, oh, okay, so about the body brushing, that's more to Elaine. Does it have to be dry or wet? It's a dry brushing, but she will tell you a little bit more.
Yes, dry brushing is the best way to stimulate lymph. I know people use loofah or they use different gloves in the shower. It's really not the same. You really want to exfoliate the skin and do it dry. It has a lot more benefits than wet. The brush is sturdier. It's not the most comfortable thing at the beginning, but you can use a light strokes. You start light, and as you get used to it, the more benefits is in the dry brushing. But you must follow the flow, and you have the diagram. It has to be circular and then sweeps. So it's almost like you're cleaning out your system.
And Elaine, what does happen during the lymphatic drainage treatment? Is there any downtime?
So the only contraindication for the electrosound lymphatic is pacemakers. There's no downtime. It takes 50 to 60-minute treatments, and I actually follow the same route as body brushing. I open all the lymph points. We have over 1,000 lymph nodes, and the way my sound works through the body, I actually able to use the body as a map, and I can see where there's blockages or where there's congestion. The lymph becomes very sticky. And as I go through the body, starting bottom up, when the lymph becomes congested, I actually break down the points. And when the sound touches the skin, it actually, all the toxins and bacteria that are sluggish and that is sticky jumps up to the surface. So I am able to reroute and point to the right direction. And you drink water after the treatment, 24 hours, you drink half of your body in water, and your body will thank you. You will feel lighter, you will drain out all your toxins, and after that, I'll follow with the body brushing and drinking the water.
Okay, so we have some more questions, so we'll try to keep it short. Okay, so the question is, a lot of the questions, I'll combine them in one. What foods should I eat to help control inflammation? What foods, what is a cayenne pepper is good for? And talking about the water. So I'll start with the foods that to help you control inflammation. The best thing to do is avoid foods which have a pro-inflammatory effect on the body. The most important among them are refined carbohydrates and sugar, overabundance of vegetable oils disproportionate to animal fats, and things that are additives, for example, like food colorings or hydrogenated fats and high fructose corn syrup. Also, surprisingly, some of the foods which you don't really think as unhealthy, but they have a strong inflammatory response. That's fatty red meat, a lot of tropical fruits, and for the people sensitive to it, dairy products. What there was mentioning about the cayenne pepper and the amount of salt in the water. I'll leave it to Elaine to answer.
So the reason I always mention cayenne pepper, it's one of those herbs that really gives a jolt to your lymphatic system, and you need to really put just a dash in the morning for the water, and it really helps in detoxification. Just to add to what Dr. Turovskiy said about anti-inflammatory foods, the only thing I also take out of the food groups is the nightshades, because even though they are the healthiest foods on the planet, they are highly inflammatory, which are eggplant, tomatoes, and potatoes. So if you have a sluggish lymphatic system, and if you can't lose weight, or you're always tired, and we need to take them out. And that goes along as well as dairy, and Dr. Turovskiy mentioned that.
There is also closely connected to foods. There is a question about whether we recommend fasting to control inflammation. Fasting is very helpful. We recommend controlled fasting. We have special protocols of the 5-day mimicking fast with the all foods prepared, where you still receive nutrients and support the body function, yet have all the healthy effects of the fasting. There is also a question here about strategies to help with sleep. Among nutritional strategies, as I mentioned there, I would emphasize again taking melatonin, the 3 milligrams of melatonin, taking vitamin D, and taking zinc and magnesium, of the things that we already discussed. I also would recommend, if you're taking vitamin C, especially high dosages of vitamin C, not to do it late in the afternoon, because for a lot of people it could have a stimulating effect. You also, especially for those who work from home, it is very, very important to create a daily structure and have a peace of mind of taking things off your to-do list that you accomplished through the day, and do planning before you go to sleep of what's going to happen next day. That gives you a sense of purpose and accomplishment, and helps you to greatly relax and reduce worry and anxiety that interferes with your sleep.
And I also would like to add, great for sleep is Epsom salt bath. If you don't have a bathtub, use the basin, just put your feet in and soak your feet, but you have to put enough Epsom salt, at least 3 to 4 cups. Add some Himalayan salt if you have. Really helps in detoxification. The magnesium helps with sleep.
There is also a question for the type of brush. Elaine, could you talk about the specific type of brush you recommend?
Yes, so there are brushes that are used with bristles. I recommend Palm, and we'll connect the link. We do have a lot of these products in the Health and Wellness Center, but Palm brushes are softer, and you basically, when you start brushing, you don't go as hard at the beginning. You go lightly all over the body, and when you get used to it, you'll feel, first of all, you'll feel invigorating. Palm, I feel, is much softer, especially with people with sensitive skin or light skin. PALM, palm brush.
Okay, there is also, could you repeat, please, Elaine, how much you recommend of the salt in the water?
So you can make, actually, we give a recipe, it's called Himalayan salt sole. So you would need to take a glass jar, add to the 6-ounce glass jar, add to it 2 teaspoons of Himalayan salt, fill it with water, and you will let it stand for 24 hours. In 24 hours, all the minerals will be released, at least 84 minerals, and then the next morning after 24 hours, if you are the ones that drink water in 30-ounce jars, you would fill them to your first 30-ounce jar or to your first cup 1 teaspoon of that water. That will give you all the minerals that you would need for your whole day.
Okay, I see that there is no more questions, so let me briefly tell the audience the specials that the Carillon have for all kinds of health services that we offer. As I mentioned, we're available for phone or Zoom consultation. The 30-minute consultation is just $125, and it could be regarding different topics from nutrition to stress management based on your particular situation. We have the specials for the Carillon residents. That's 20 minutes of acupuncture treatment, specific anti-inflammatory and immune stimulation treatment. The 60 minutes regular is $250, and you can get 20% off. You also, for the residents, you can get 20% off electrosound lymphatic drainage that Elaine talked so great about. That 60-minute procedure is regularly $175. You can call us and learn more about the specials or other services and consultations at 305-514-7216, or email us, or you can see the email on the screen. We also will download the handout with all the information. And finally, I wanted to talk a little bit that the Carillon conversation is complimentary, and I appreciate everybody's coming. I would encourage you to help us to support a great organization which is called Feeding South Florida by donating to the link, as you can see on the screen, Feeding South Florida organization, and we appreciate your support. You can visit us at our website at the carillonhotel.com and follow us on the social media. You can email, call. We're here. We're available for any questions, and looking forward to the future Carillon conversations. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us.